Hi everyone, I'm Annie. I'll be teaching this 35-minute flexibility flow today. This is a wonderful class to do if you've been sitting around a lot lately, if you're feeling a little stiff and sore, and if you just want to feel a little more open in your body. So let's hop on our mats and get started. Okay, so we'll start off today sitting up nice and tall in a cross-legged position. I've got my hips propped up on a block. You can feel free to do the same if you like, or you can just sit on the floor. It doesn't matter either way. Let's take a deep belly breath in. Deep breath out the mouth. Let's just take a moment to close off the eyes, come into the moment, and start to check in with the breath. So feel the belly rise and fall with each inhale and exhale. Listen to the sound of the breath as it moves in and out of the body. Just take this time here and now to come into the moment. Let the rest of your day melt away and just take this time for yourself. You can worry about everything else later, but now it's time for you to move and breathe in peace. Now today we'll be working on our flexibility, obviously. And I think a lot of us associate flexibility just with stretching. But if you find that you have very tight hamstrings and that no matter how much you stretch, you can never seem to touch your toes or get into the splits or whatever it is your goal is, it could be that you have a functional imbalance in your legs. And what I mean by a functional imbalance is that the front of your legs are stronger than the back of your legs, or they're significantly stronger than the back of your legs, I should say. And this means that not only are your hamstrings tight, but they're actually weak. And so stretching will not correct this issue, and it can actually make it worse and lead to injury. So today, before we get into stretching, we'll actually focus on building hamstring strength. And then after we've strengthened the muscles, then we can stretch into them safely. And through time and consistency, if you keep up this careful balance between strength and stretching, then you will make progress in your flexibility and you will see results a lot faster. So with that in mind, let's just remember to be patient and gentle with ourselves. Flexibility does not happen overnight, and trying to rush the process will just lead you to injury, so just be kind to yourselves. Okay, take a deep breath in, long breath out. On your next inhale, let's interlace the fingers behind the hands, loop the shoulders back, and straighten the elbows so that the fists are pulling away from the body. Take a deep breath in, deep breath out. Squeeze shoulder blades together, open the heart. Good, and then let's bend the elbows so we bring the fists to the outside of the left hip, and then we drop left ear toward the left shoulder so we're stretching out the right side of the neck. Shoulders stay level, down away from the ears. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Maybe drop that ear down a little deeper. Good, inhale, head back to center, fists go out behind you. Again, squeeze shoulder blades together, inhale. Exhale, fists come to the outside of the right hip this time, right ear down. Good, deep belly breaths here. Always remembering that if you can't breathe, it means you've gone too far. So always stay aware of the breath. Use it as a guide for your body. Good, inhale, open the chest, squeeze shoulders back. And then let's release the hands. Let's bring them up to a cactus shape on either side. So bringing those elbows level with the shoulders. Inhale, squeeze elbows back, open the heart. Maybe look up toward the ceiling. And then as you exhale, we round the back, drop chin to chest, elbows come together. Inhale, open. Exhale, round. Really explore the full range of motion of your spine here. Moving nice and slow, but really getting into the juiciness of the back bend and of the forward bend. Good. Let's go one more time each side. Inhale, open, expand, maybe look up, and then exhale, round and contract. Well done. If you've got your hips propped up, you can just take that prop off to the side. We will come forward, plant the shoulders down, or plant the hands beneath the shoulders, sorry, and we'll meet in a tabletop position. So spreading fingers nice and wide, we push up actively from the mat, so no chest collapse down like this. We want to puff up between the shoulder blades, protract them, and lift up nice and high. And then navel's drawing in toward the spine, so no bum sticking out here. Let's keep our low backs nice and flat. Very good. From here, let's flex through the right toes and we'll lift the right foot so that the sole of the foot is up to the ceiling. Inhale to try to lift that knee up, maybe slightly past the hip, press the heel up, and then exhale, right knee comes down to a hover beside the left knee. Inhale up, exhale down. Keep moving with the breath here, and I want you to really focus on isolating this movement in the legs, so we want to keep the hips and shoulders as stationary as possible. Keep drawing the navel in, low back stays nice and flat, and really focus on squeezing up into the glutes, into the bum as you lift and lower the foot. Good, one more time, lift up, squeeze, press up. Good, and then let's take our knee out to the side, draw the knee up behind the elbow, and then loop it down past the left knee. So we're coming into some big, slow hip circles here. Again, not dumping the weight over into the left hip. We want to keep the body as stationary as possible as we just explore the full range of motion of the hip. Good, and then let's reverse the circle now. So going the opposite direction, using the strength of the core to stabilize the body as you slowly expand through the hip circles. Well done. Now let's point the toes up and bring them up so that they're facing up toward the sky. Really push the mat away from you here, draw the core in, then we lift up the left hand, catch hold of the right foot with the left hand. We start to kick up into the right foot, keep drawing the navel in. There should be no pinching or pain in the low back. Inhale, exhale, see if you can kick up a little higher, stretching out through the side of the left shoulder. Tiger pose. Good, then slowly release, left hand comes down, bring the right toes down, push the right heel back, little hamstring stretch. Well done. Let's return the right knee down, and then we'll go right away to the other side. So we start to come up into our donkey kicks on the left, focusing on slow and controlled movements here, synchronizing the body with the breath. So inhale to lift and squeeze into the glutes. Exhale to bring that knee down to a hover. Neck stays nice and long, gazing down at the mat. And we focus on the upper thigh, on the glutes, strengthening through the hamstrings and through the glutes. Very good. Let's do one more lift and squeeze down, and then this time let's take our hip circles. So remember, it might feel different on this side. Our bodies naturally have one side that's a little more flexible and one side that's a little tighter. So just be aware of that. Don't try to force yourself to have the same experience on both sides. And reverse the circle. Trying to get that knee to make as big a circle as possible, really getting into our hip mobility here, which will help to facilitate our hip flexibility later. Good, let's point that toe up to the sky. Really check that you're pushing the mat away from you. And then when you're ready, reach back with the right hand. Loop right shoulder back, inhale. Exhale, kick up into that left hand, stretching out through the right shoulder. Gaze stays down at the mat, inhale. Exhale, kick up nice and high, core stays engaged. Good, and then slowly release with control. And hamstring stretch on the left. Rock back and forth on those toes a couple times. Well done. Come back to tabletop. Let's walk the hands out in front of us slightly. Really grip into the mat here with the fingers. Curl toes under, and then we lift the hips up and back into downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Take a deep breath in. Long sigh out the mouth. And then just feel free to pedal into the feet here. lifting and lowering the heels, stretching out the hamstrings, taking whatever wiggles feel good for your body today. Good, and then we look up to the hands. We take a nice slow walk up to the top of the mat, bending into the knees as much as we need. Feet come hip width apart. We relax the head and neck down in a deep forward fold. Deep breath in, long breath out the mouth. And then nice and slow, we come to standing. Head comes up last. So think about stacking each vertebra into the one beneath it. Loop shoulders back, bring the palms to face forward, and then we stand up nice and tall into Tadasana, mountain pose. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Good, inhale to sweep the arms up, and then as you exhale, hands come together. Let's try to sit back. Try to combine shift and sit, and I almost said a bad word. Sit back into chair pose, Utkatasana. So here we want to send the weight onto the heels of the foot. So actually even try to pick up all 10 toes if you can. And then hips go back and down, knees don't go out past the toes, okay? So if you're up here, if this is the depth of your chair pose, that's fine. We're working to sit the hips back without sticking out the bum too much, okay? So again, low back stays nice and flat. There's lots to think about in this pose, but it is really important that we get it right so that we are strengthening the correct muscles, which will help us in the long run with our flexibility. Inhale to lengthen the spine, and exhale to think about sitting those hips back and down a little deeper. Shoulders stay down away from the ears, breath stays smooth and even. Deep breath in, exhale, see if you can sit down a little deeper. Whew. Spicy. Good, and then as you exhale, let's forward fold. Relax the head and neck down, and then inhale into your halfway lift, so a flat back here. Good, and then we plant the hands, step back into our plank. Option to drop the knees here, and then we move through a vinyasa. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, bend the elbows close to the ribs, come all the way down. Inhale, lift chest and shoulders up for cobra. And then as you exhale, hips come up and back into downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. One full breath here. Good, let's bring the feet together at the back of the mat. And then we inhale, right leg up, three-legged dog. Exhale to bend that knee round the back. And then we plant the right foot up at the top of the mat. And then we lower the left knee down. So we come into Anjaneyasana, low lunge. So here again, knee doesn't go out past the toes. We loop the shoulders back. Think of a nice long spine here. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, relax the hips down and forward. Well done. Plant the left hand. On your next inhale, sweep the right arm up and back. And then lift it all the way up so you come into your low lunge with the twist. Try to look up to that right thumb. Deep breath in. And then as you exhale, let's start to reach the right hand back again. Maybe come up onto the left fingertips. Then you can stay here, or if you like, you can start to bend into that left knee and maybe catch hold of the left foot with the right hand. If you can't reach the foot, that's fine. This is fine here too, and this will actually help to strengthen your hamstring a lot. But if you can reach the foot, then you can try to relax the hips down and forward, stretch out through your quadriceps. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Good, slowly release that back hand, no slingshots. Plant the hands on either side of the right foot, come up onto the left toes. We're coming up into our high lunge here, so take a moment here to get yourself stable, and then when you're ready, we lift up into our high lunge. Hips are squared to the front of the mat, so we want a traction, left hip forward, right hip back. Keep the core drawing in, and then we bring our hands to heart center. Take a deep breath in, deep breath out, maybe sink a little deeper in that front knee, really strong through the back leg. Very good. Good, on your next exhale, let's start to shift the chest forward. So let's think of one long line from the left heel to the crown of the head. Bend into the front knee, and then a little more into the left knee. And then we're going to step the left foot up to meet the right. And then right away, we're going to sink the hips back down into chair pose, Utkatasana. Big transition there. It's okay if you needed to step your foot down in the middle. Inhale to lengthen the spine, low back flat. Exhale, sink the hips down. See if you can lift all 10 toes. Well done. Hold here, one more breath. And then we inhale, sweep the arms all the way up, stretch up to the sky. Good. As you exhale, hands come down by your sides, palms face forward for mountain pose. Well done. Take a full breath here. And then we go again on the other side. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, bring the hands to heart center, and we sit down into our chair pose. Utkatasana, the pose we all love to hate. So again, one thing about this pose is there's lots of alignment cues to think about, but that can also be good to help you distract from all that's going on in your legs. So just get used to scanning up and down the body. How is my spine? How is my low back? Can I sit my hips down a little lower? Can I bring my knees a little further back? Are my toes lifted? Etc., etc. And of course, as always, remembering to breathe. Inhale to lengthen the spine. Exhale to sit down a little deeper if you can. Good, and on your next exhale, let's release the head and neck down, forward fold. Inhale to your half lift, loop the shoulders back here. And then as you exhale, we plant the hands, come into our plank. Drop the knees and move through your version of a vinyasa. Maybe come all the way down or hang out in chaturanga. And then inhale up into upward facing dog. Squeeze the glutes on your back bend. And then as we exhale, we all come to meet in downward facing dog. One full breath here. Good. Bring big toes together at the back of the mat. Sweep that left leg up, three-leg dog. Round the back, really push the mat away and plant the left foot up toward the top of the mat as far as you can get it. And then we meet in Anjaneyasana, low lunge. So relaxing those hips down and forward. Nice long spine. Good, on your next inhale, let's plant the right hand, sweep the left arm up and over, come into your low lunge with a twist. Deep breath in, exhale, see if you can bring that hand back, open up a little deeper into the twist. Good, and then we start to maybe come up on the right fingertips, reach the left arm back, and then bending into the right knee, maybe catch hold of the foot if you can. Deep breath in, and then as you exhale again, think about moving those hips down and forward. Nice little quad stretch here. Release the foot, no slingshots. Plant the hands on either side of the left foot, and then we come up into our high lunge. Nice and slow, get yourself centered. Make sure those hips are squared, and then hands to heart center here. Find your steadiness, find your stillness. Remembering to breathe, always to breathe. We're going to be so strong after this class, guys, so just focus on that. Good, inhale to bring the chest forward, bend into the right knee, and then step the right foot up to meet the left right away. Checking in with your spine, keep it long. Sit the hips down, Utkatasana. Deep breath in. Exhale, sink the hips. Again, inhale. Exhale, sink the hips. Oh, I know you all just don't like me right now. It's okay, I'm suffering through this with you too. Good, and then let's inhale, sweep the arms all the way up, reach up. And then exhale, bring your hands down by your side for mountain pose. Well done. All right, take a little sip of water if you need it, and then we're all going to meet in our dancer pose. Sorry, I shouldn't have said that. We're not going to meet in our dancer pose. We're going to get into our dancer pose together. So if you're feeling a bit wobbly today, it might be a good idea to practice this near a wall or to get maybe a dining room chair to steady yourself here. So it's all right if you fall. That's completely normal in yoga. I fall over all the time. But if you'd like something to hang on to, then now would be a good time to get it. So before we balance, we need to find a drishti point. Drishti is Sanskrit for gaze. So it's something stationary at eye level that you can anchor your gaze to that will help you to just feel a bit more stable. And then if you find yourself wobbling in your balancing pose, you can think about attaching your gaze to this stationary object, and that can help to kind of impart some stability into your body. So find something at eye level, and then let's start to root down through all four corners of the feet, really gripping the feet into the mat. Let's inhale to sweep the arms up overhead. And then as you exhale, bring the left arm down by your side, thumb points back so the palm faces out, and right arm comes forward, palm face up. Start to shift the weight into the right foot, and then nice and slow, we bend the left knee and bring the knees together. Keep a little micro bend in your right knee here, so you can see my right knee isn't locked out. I've got a little bend here, and this will help to activate through the muscles and also to protect the knee joint. Take a moment to get yourself stabilized here. And then you're reaching either for the inside of the left foot or the ankle. Take a deep breath in, draw the core in, really active through the core here. And then as you exhale, we start to bring the chest forward. We kick up into the left foot. Keep breathing here. Anchoring your gaze on your drishti point. Inhale to find your stability, and then exhale to kick up a little higher. If you wobble, if you fall, that's okay. Just come back to it. Deep breath in. Exhale, kick up a little higher if you can. Stay focused, stay steady. One more deep breath in. Exhale, kick up nice and high. And then nice and slow, we come back to center. Release the left foot down, and hands meet at heart center, Anjali Mudra. Take a deep breath in, and a long breath out the mouth. Well done. So whatever happened or didn't happen there, whether you aced it or you fell on your face, let it go, it's in the past. Take a sec to reset, and then we'll go on the other side. So again, find your drishti. Think about rooting down through that left foot. Sweep the arms up, left arm forward, right arm to the side. We bend that right knee in. Remember the little micro bend in the left knee. And again, here there should be no pain or pinching in the low back as we kick up. We need to keep the core engaged and drawing in to help stabilize us here. If you feel pain in the low back, then you need to back up out of the pose. Deep breath in here, and then as you exhale, we start to kick up, lean forward. Again, remember, different experiences on both sides of the body. Just observe without judgment. Learn to listen to the breath, listen to the body. Keep that core drawing in, and then kick up a little higher if you can. Good, nice and steady. And then nice and slow with control, we come down. Hands to heart center, right foot comes down next to the left. Very good. Inhale to sweep the arms up overhead. And then as you exhale, let's bend deeply into the knees. Rest the body on the thighs, come into a deep forward fold. Relax the head and neck down. Close the eyes and let's just nod the head, yes and no. Rock it side to side, or maybe even reach for opposite elbows and come into ragdoll, just swinging back and forth, side to side. Deep belly breaths here, really bending deeply, generously into the knees. Well done. All right, and then let's plant the hands, and we're going to step back into our plank position just for a moment. Inhale to bring the right leg up. Exhale, bend right knee in behind the right elbow, flex through the right toes, and then right foot comes behind the left wrist, and then the shin comes down to the floor. So we're coming into pigeon pose. Look over your shoulder, check in that that left foot is coming out straight behind the hip bone. And here, we want to keep our hips nice and straight. So equal distance from the floor. You can slide a block beneath your hips to check that you're not leaning more on one side than the other. Or another good option is a rolled up towel or a blanket. So just make sure that you're not really, tendency is to kind of lean over to one side, but we want to stay centered. Inhale, puff up the chest, and then as you exhale, let's come forward, resting down on our forearms, or maybe stacking one hand on top of the other and resting the forehead down. Deep belly breath in, and a long breath out. Close the eyes, relax down completely. This is a completely passive posture here, so there's no need for you to do anything aside from just keeping those right toes flexed to protect the knee joint. And just use the breath here. With every exhale, feel the body relax and soften. Feel the hips melting down a little closer to the earth and opening up nice and slow. Just keep your mind on the breath here. It's very tempting to let our minds wander at this point in the practice when we slow down a little bit, but just try to absorb your attention entirely in the experience of breathing. And then nice and slow, we're going to lift back up. Take your time, plant the hands, and then let's walk the left foot in. Lift the left knee, step the right foot back. Quick little downward facing dog here. Lift those hips up nice and high to the sky. And then as you inhale, let's come forward to our plank. Really push the mat away. Lift the left knee, bend it in. Good, and then we come into our pigeon pose on the left. Walking that right foot all the way back. And again, remember, different experience on both sides of the body. So just listen to what your hips are telling you. Your hips don't lie, so just meet them where they're at. Inhale, lift up the chest, open heart, and then as we exhale, we bow forward, coming to rest down on forearms or stacked palms. You can also rest the forehead down on a block, like so, like that. So whatever feels best for you. And again, if you can't breathe, then that means you might have gone too deep into the pose. Maybe bring the left foot in a little closer to the hip, to the right hip, or you can even just lift up a little higher. Don't walk the right foot out quite so far. Always listen to your body. Again, forcing it will just lead to injury. No one has ever made beneficial progress by forcing their body into a position it wasn't ready for. So please just don't do that. I don't want you to get hurt. I want you to feel good. Using the breath to relax down. Feel the belly rise and fall. Feel maybe where it makes contact with the left leg. Or maybe your belly's all the way down to the floor if you're super bendy. Mine's not there. Use the exhales to release down into the earth, opening the hips. Very good, and then nice and slow we'll lift up. Plant those hands, heel toe that right foot in, and then we lift up into plank, and then all the way into downward facing dog. Feel free to keep a little bend in the knees here. Maybe just pedal the legs out one by one, whatever feels good. Maybe lifting and lowering both heels. There's going to be a big rush of blood back into the legs after pigeon, so just feel free to shake it out a little bit. And then we plant the knees, come down to a seated position, and then we're going to come all the way down onto our backs. Keep the knees bent. Let's take the arms out into a T shape on either side, and then we'll cross right leg over left. And then as we exhale, just let the knees drop over to the left. So as you can see, my knees aren't quite reaching the ground, and that's fine. You can kind of rest on the inside of your right ankle. You can also prop up your knees with a pillow if it makes this pose more comfortable for you. Make sure both shoulder blades are down on the mat. And then on your next exhale, maybe just close the eyes and send the gaze out over to the right, so twisting up through the neck. Taking deep belly breaths here, just letting the body soften into the mat, letting gravity do the work for you here. Good, and then head comes up to center. Draw the knees up, uncross and recross. You might need to shimmy your hips around a little bit. And then when you're ready, we will let our knees drop over to the right. Again, both shoulder blades stay on the mat. Inhale, exhale, gaze out over to the left, close off the eyes. Let the body soften down into the twist. Twists are so wonderful for detoxifying the body. They massage our internal organs, they promote digestion, they just kind of get, it's kind of like wringing out a cloth. They kind of like physically wring out the body, so to speak. So it's wonderful to do them in every yoga practice, every single one. Good, let's bring everything back to center, draw the knees in. Give your knees a little hug, quick squeeze, and then we come into Shavasana. So just a quick one today. And please don't skip it. I know it's tempting to just turn off the video, but this is the most important pose we do. Take a deep belly breath in and a long sigh out the mouth. Let your body soften into the earth. Give yourself permission to just fully relax here and let your body absorb the positive effects of your practice. We strengthened the body, we stretched the body, we balanced and we twisted. And now it's time for us to just let the body kind of integrate all of that goodness and soak it in for a moment. Again, come back to the breath. Feel the belly rise and fall. Listen to the sound of the breath moving in and out of the body. Feel all the points of contact that your body makes with the mat, and feel the earth coming up to hold you up, supporting you here in stillness. Throughout our yoga practice, we must remember to treat our bodies with respect, to give them what they need, to listen to their limits. And when we learn to listen, and when we learn to treat our bodies well, they start to give back to us in such amazing ways, and we can do things we never thought possible. All it takes is a little bit of patience and self-compassion. Okay, let's bend the knees in one by one. And then we will bend them both into the chest. Squeeze the knees in, give yourself a little hug, rock side to side. And then take the hands behind the knees, rock back and forth. And we meet in a cross-legged position. Arms out by your sides, inhale, sweep them all the way up. Palms meet in the middle, and then we exhale, bend the elbows, bring the thumbs to rest on the heart, Anjali Mudra. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. I hope you feel wonderful and strong and stretched. And if you liked this video, please feel free to share it with someone else you think would like it. It means the world to me to see you practicing along with me at home, and sharing these videos is the best way to support them. So thank you.